While clutter is the bane of every home-owning neat freak on the planet, it's nearly impossible not to accumulate at least a little junk. Old items are left abandoned in garages and attics, sitting for years collecting dust until finally someone takes that dreaded, but long overdue, trip to the dump. Sometimes, though, all that junk people stash out of sight has more to it than meets the eye. As one man was rummaging through his grandparents' overcrowded ceramics room, he discovered something in an old, unassuming closet that left even his grandmother in awe. One afternoon, an Imgur user known as Totterell was sorting through the aforementioned ceramics room, which had pretty much turned into a junk depot. But there was one item in there that caught his eye. In the corner behind stacks of old papers and blank canvases was a tall brown cabinet that looked as though it hadn't been opened in years. Totterell felt the urge to start investigating. The shelving of the closet was bare, but Totterell realized at the base was a false bottom that popped out rather easily. Gravel filled the rectangular area underneath. But once Totterell cleared it all away, he gasped. Staring up at him from the closet's base was a dial to a safe. The whole time his grandmother had this piece of furniture, they had no idea that there was a locked box resting at the bottom. Totterell pried it out. The safe had seen much better days. It was covered in rust and the edges were banged up, but that made it super easy to pry open with some tools. No master safecracker was necessary. Wearing gloves to ensure he didn't cut himself or get tetanus, Totterell grabbed a hammer and metal wedging tool and carefully removed the safe's lid. But he was not ready for what was inside. Within the rusted container was a mystery object draped in a black cloth. A plastic container, pictures, and a note that looked like it was torn out of a book. A close look at the black cloth answered one mystery. After Totterell pulled it back, he noticed something was wrapped up inside. He unraveled the tattered piece of linen and came upon a leather pouch that answered who the safe belonged to. Everything in the safe was very delicate from years of exposure, so every move Totterell made was with the utmost of care. He slowly opened the pouch strings and found his grandfather's pocket watch, issued by the British Army. But that was only the beginning of Totterell's safe adventure. After admiring the quality of the watch, he came across a massive collection of old stamps. Some were from countries that didn't even exist anymore. Next, he turned to the note which read, "Abandon all regret, ye who enter here." It was apparently written by his grandfather who had passed away several years earlier, and it was a play on the famous Dante's Inferno quote, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." There was more. Additionally, he found this artifact that looked like it had come straight out of the movie Aladdin. Unfortunately, there was no genie inside this old relic. Someone online suggested this was likely an incense burner, and he was amazed by the photos he found. The first he pulled from the safe was actually of one of Totterell's ancestors. Believe it or not, this was his great-great-great-grandmother. Talk about a blast from a totally different past. The dapper gentleman rocking a crisp suit and holding a pipe in this photo was Totterell's great-grandfather. One internet user left the appropriate comment, "Your great-grandfather is so stylish it hurts." Next, it was time to explore the plastic case. Totterell could tell by the way the case sounded when he shook it that there were several items inside. It didn't take long to pop it open and find some unusual coins as well as a key. The coins weren't ordinary pocket change either. Totterell never saw anything like them before, and luckily when he posted this photo online, coin experts chimed in. Apparently, there was a 1921 half-dollar and some Pakistani coins worth keeping. But the coins weren't even the best part. There were actually two pieces of memorabilia from World War I. One was a medal given to Commonwealth troops who served in the theater, but the other was a mystery. The final item Totterell pulled out was a random key. Even Totterell's grandmother had no clue what it belonged to. Totterell was left with a riddle to hopefully one day solve. He started thinking about all of the objects around the house that were locked. He tried not getting his hopes up, but that was a tall task. He knew of the incredible discoveries people were making around the world. Maybe one of them could point towards the key's source.